The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Pop in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too evil and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Speaking podcast, weekend edition of the podcast, coming to you on a Sunday afternoon here. About, 9 days away from the election? A lot to talk about here. This is a very special episode here because I am bringing in two folks who I love more than life itself. It is my dad, Earl, and my brother, Eric. It's a dad in the middle. You can't tell who my dad is. My dad looks so young. You couldn't tell who's the father here, who's not. Well, this is actually Eric's. Well, this is my dad's first time on the show in quite a while. My brother Eric's first time on the show in first time ever on the show. You made it, buddy. It's been a long time.
You popped my cherry.
It's been 13 years. Yeah, exactly. It's been 13 years before I did it.
Finally popped my EJ podcast.
Yeah.
Cherry.
Hey, for the record, ain't like I never asked you to pass for. You just
be gentle.
Hey guys, please. Not the way I want to start this podcast.
Leave it to Eric. Leave it to Eric to be inappropriate. Leave it to the little brother to be inappropriate, right? Always. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
All good. Feeling good, feeling great.
Yeah, you outside. How's the weather out there? Because it looks cloudy on this side.
Well, it's typical Florida. It's fall day.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're down here now, right now, Eric? Right?
Yeah. We went to South Point Park yesterday.
Nice.
It was beautiful outside. Park. Yeah. Just ran around. Ethan was running around and had some lunch. It was like 80 degrees. Just perfect.
Yeah. Which is a far cry of the last couple of weeks. Has been raining every single day, pretty much. Like that, plus hurricane threats and all that. It's been a really rough, say 2-3 weeks of weather here in Florida. So,
the calm after the storm, I suppose.
Well, this is the calm for the calm for the. Well, I mean, it depends what storm you're talking about here. It depends. Is that an analogy?
And then there's another storm coming up, right?
Yeah.
See what happens.
Because I would say hurricane season's pretty much. It's not over yet, but it's coming to an end. But I think there's another storm we're going to talk about here. I mean, you want to go rip the Band-Aid off and discuss it now?
You might as well.
And we are.
Get right into it. What is it? 9 days left or something?
9 days. As it is recording, 9 days. I haven't voted yet. I'm going to vote on Friday. This coming Friday because I'm actually off of work, so I have no distractions. So, but you guys voted already?
Yeah.
You voted already? Okay, nice. How long's your lines there? Because
walk right up to answer your question.
So this is the weird thing for me. Whenever I do early voting, I'm always in line an hour or more. Every single time, whether it's midterms or the general election. When I go the day of the election, I'm always in and out 10 minutes. Every single time.
Well, that's odd. Yeah. But
it's very odd.
Though, I think there's so many stations, right? You go to like a secondary station, not a very popular one, because I think I told you, Eric, I went up to the one in West Miramar, Red Road and the library.
Yeah.
There was a line outside. I said, you know what? This is going to take me a minute. Came back home and I researched, and I got some. It was 2.7 miles away from me. It was a school in West Park, and in and out.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was no one ahead of me. Well, I just walked right in and went up.
Which is weird because, with early voting, you're allowed to vote anywhere you want, any precinct.
Yeah. In the same county, in the same
county, right? Whereas if you vote day of, you have to vote at the one you're assigned to. But every time I go day of, I'm always in and out in 10 minutes every single time.
Wow.
For the last every cycle I've voted since I was 20 years old.
So does that mean you're waiting until November 5th?
No, I
I hope not.
No. I'd rather go early. You know why? I'm the nerd of this thing. I don't mind the lines for the most part, as long as it's not egregiously long. So when I went in 2020, we had like it was an hour wait at the library, and you had a bunch of like Biden supporters on one side, you had a bunch of Trump supporters on the other side, but the thing was really cool is that I love being in the middle of all that chaos because like they were all polite too. That's the crazy thing. They were all polite, talking to each other and whatever. It wasn't like any like hateful stuff. They're all talking to each other, just disagree on policy, I guess. But I don't know, man. It was actually kind of cool. I like being in the middle of all that stuff, man.
Unfortunately, some of them, the policy ain't got nothing to do with it, man.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
So it's let's call it for what it is.
No, I totally get that. Yeah. So yeah, we're 9 days away. How do you want to? I guess start here. How do you guys feel about? I don't have normally with these races always have like a good sense where it's going. I really don't. Like, to be fair, the midterms also I got dead wrong. Midterms 2 years ago, I thought there'd be red wave, and I was dead wrong.
No.
So this race, I don't have a good feeling on right now. With 9 days ago, where you guys stand on this one?
I think a good way is to state the heck, and it's hard for me. I haven't been doing it, but CNN is my main source, and of course,
Trump calls that fake news.
Stay off the TV.
Yeah.
Stay off the TV. Okay. Here's what I feel. I hope, right? I hope there's a groundswell. I hope that the 100,000 plus volunteers that we heard signed up for the Harris campaign. I hope that really works, because let's face it, you're not going to hear about that. The news isn't carrying that, right? So I hope there is a groundswell and we have a decisive victory, because we need a decisive victory, not a marginal victory.
I don't know if that's happening.
Those polls. I mean, but the thing is, I don't know if we put a lot.
Oh wait, just for clarity though, you want a decisive victory because you're wearing a red shirt. You want a decisive victory for who?
Absolutely.
What does a red shirt do anything else?
It's
the red hat, Eric. It's a red hat.
Just for fodder.
Let me go change my shirt and put on a blue shirt. If that would help.
You want my MAGA hat?
You want a decisive victory for
Walls.
Kamala Harris.
Tim Walz.
Okay.
Tim Walz.
Of course, Tim Walz.
Yeah.
It's like we all know that all the respective VPs, they're just a backup for the president, right? So
it is literally the most unconsequential role in Washington. I swear to God, it really. Yeah. And I'm learning more and more about that in the last couple of years, and that's why I find it comical. Unless you're like plugged in, like a lot of us who watch this stuff day to day, oh well, she's been in office for 3.5 years. Well, yeah, she has, but she has not. I mean,
although there's a fair argument you can make on the other side that running up to the election, your VP pick has a lot, like it can make a major impact on you getting elected. It's amazingly like it matters nothing after you're elected and you're in there, but if you're like the VP pick, like look at what's it called? Quayle. Look at what's her name? Palin.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I honestly think Trump might have picked up more people because of JD Vance.
You think so? Because JD Vance was at one point was polling as the worst VP pick in history of modern America.
Yeah.
I only say this. I think people actually like JD Vance. I think people like JD Vance.
Who you been talking to?
Maybe post debate, yes.
Post debate. I think people actually like JD Vance. Like I think they he's on the farm of like this. He's just pandering to he wants to get to the office. He has to do what he has to do. But I think people actually like him. I think he's a coherent.
Well, I will admit that he did well on the debate.
He did very well on the debate, actually.
Came across,
He did very well in the debate, actually. I was very impressed. And Tim Walz is a great debater for the record, too. So for him
he was unhinged a bit. I mean, he didn't seem comfortable.
Who's that?
That's
Walz?
not to say. This is why debate doesn't mean everything. It gives you a how can you best put it? Look, he's been a congressperson. He's been a governor at Walz, so he has experience. But but the national limelight, he didn't handle that well at all. If Vance wasn't as extreme as he is, I definitely would consider someone that's calm and collected and put across whatever he have to
I
say,
agree with
his
you.
issues.
I agree with you. JD Vance, he comes it's to me it's more so the policies that I don't like. He's very right on a lot of policies that I care about.
I think he's doing what he has to do to get ahead, and he's
Yeah,
pandering who he has to pander to get ahead because he
yeah.
knows that's the
But can I
best
argue?
path forward for him.
But could I argue?
Politics.
And us three are very moderate guys anyway, politically speaking, as it is. I mean, I'm a former Republican, crying out loud. The party is actually. I don't know if the party is going as far right as you think, though. I think that their tent is growing.
Yeah,
Their tent is growing, and people are not giving credit for how much Trump has exacerbated that. Like, is that
so?
Go ahead.
No, to what you were saying when you're saying how are you feeling about the election, the question you asked,
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable that Kamala's. I don't think it's going to be a runaway for Kamala.
I don't think so either.
I think in the beginning it was too close of a race to make sense to me, one, or be comfortable about, and I think that the Republican, moderate Republican, or slightly call it left leaning, or
Progressive.
the moderate in the middle progressive Republican, so to speak, is like, you know what? Yeah, I can maybe just forego Trump's antics and everything else, and some policy things I might not agree with, and I think that's growing to a very large amount. At the same time, I think that the Democratic Party is just getting fractured more and more, and I don't think it's going to be a runaway. And honestly, I've said it multiple times, I'm not going to be surprised if Trump wins.
I won't be surprised at all. In fact, if he put a look, I'm not making any
Sorry, Dad. I'm just saying.
I'm not.
You
No,
know,
I agree. I agree.
I
100%
respect
here.
both of y'all opinions, and what I say to that, we can segue into what does a Trump presidency look like, and how do you feel that type of leadership? Both you guys have young children, my grandchildren, right? So how do you really feel about that? Can you look at your kids in the eye and say, look, gotta respect that guy?
As someone
Because he's behind the seal.
Right. As someone who's look, we the thing is, it's not like we have. This is not 2016 anymore. We've already felt and touched a Trump presidency for 4 years, and how you may feel about it, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you
Really?
can't.
Okay.
It's
All
like
right.
if you're looking your kid in the eye, I mean, like, you gotta, I'm sorry that this happened. It's maybe you voted for him, but like,
So
if you
you
didn't
know,
vote for him, you're just like, look, this is the country we live in, and this is the process. They elected this guy,
so
and I'm not saying you need to go and pledge allegiance to this guy. He's the president.
January
Continue
6,
on with their life.
2021, the insurrection. He's already setting the tone to call a steal if
Of course. I mean,
he
it's why
loses.
Yet half the
Okay.
country is probably still going to vote for him.
Yes.
We are where we are.
Okay.
You can't really go back and forth.
Are
on
we
that.
gonna get to that mindset with half the country and break that down?
get to that mindset. We're there
Because
now.
at the end of the day, this leads to exactly what's coming out in the press right now. What the generals are saying. This guy is a major security risk to the country.
In a second term, where he won't worry about
if
doing
he
anything
gets
else.
in.
Yeah,
with no
If he gets
guardrails. With no
This
guardrails.
is what
this
I'm
time.
saying.
But
So
again,
this is why I say, how does it look for not only in terms of the character, but the relationships that he's so proud of, and who obviously these guys, North Korea and Russia, Putin, much brighter than him, obviously.
Yeah.
And again, the lack of character, the ego stroking. Look, if they
but
offer,
you had that in 2016. It's not like it's anything
but there were
new.
guardrails.
There were guardrails.
There were
And the
guardrails.
guardrails were stretched a lot.
Right,
They
there
were
were
stretched.
guardrails, and now the people who were guarding
The guardrails not going to be in the office anymore.
are not there anymore. In addition to that, they are telling you what they had was to stop, or to at least talk him out of.
Okay,
I mean, there's a
but
reason.
Guys,
Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
I think
you can go
y'all are
on a
taking
lot
this
of
too
different.
lightly.
It's not too lightly. This is just a fact of we live in America. It's not like you're going to sit there, I'm going to change half of the country's mind on different things that they're seeing. There's reasons why Trump, the wave of Trump came along. There's reasons that people had to vote for him or wanted to vote for him.
Obama, yeah.
There's reasons for this
That's why
stuff,
Trump
right?
came along, the Tea Party. That's why, it's
partially.
But I think
partially? You're kidding me?
That's the main reason why he did that?
Okay. I tell you how it started.
The dinner?
Correspondent dinner.
Yeah.
Okay? The ego got hit. No, let me say this though.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's touch on what a lot of this have to do. A big foundation of this is white supremacy, and we don't sugarcoat it. That is like the foundation of the right, and we can talk about the Christian, the evangelical Christians. We can talk about that too, and their position in terms of Christianity, and that's his base, and that's the base.
I think using white supremacy as a primary talking point,
I'm not saying it's a talking point, but it's coming
or
out.
The primary reason is to push for Trump. It ignores, and that was the problem in 2016, where people didn't understand why there was such a push for Trump after having a Democratic president in office, who, by the way, I believe Barack Obama and Michelle Obama should be emperor and empress and leaders of America forever.
I don't think we should have it.
I get it. I'm just saying I'm an Obamaist. Like I believe Obama above every other party. Like how people heralded the Kennedys. I love Obama. I love the Obamas. Okay.
Was it because they're black or because he like policies and stuff?
I've read their books. Man, and he's a
I think they're the most effective communicators. I think they're very thoughtful people. I think that they understand and they speak to the fabric of this country pretty well. Granted, they're of the Democratic Party. You're always going to have people that hate them. And I think that them getting elected, there was a pushback of people don't want to see a black woman and a black man and a black woman in office. Fine, but I think the other part that was ignored in 2016 or leading up to 2016 is that you had a lot of different areas in this country that have been economically,
agreed,
hurt. Not by the policies of Obama, but they have been left behind for years upon years. And when you look at it, like you're coming out of the recession, you're seeing these other areas of the country that are flourishing.
Absolutely.
And you're like, so what's happening here? It must be this party that, they don't care about us. And you're like, all right, well, this guy's saying that he cares about us. All right, I'm going with him. I don't particularly care what he says about,
black men
groping a woman, or I don't care what he says about, some of the other policies. He's like, is he telling me that I'm going to have more money in my pocket? Is he telling me that he cares about me? Yes.
So that's the point you just made out there, Eric. J.D. Vance in his book, the Hillbilly, I forgot the title.
Hillbilly Elegy.
He pointed that out very clearly. Yeah. And that's a big part, that's a major part of, you see, absolutely right, agreed.
I think that was the primary reason of, that Trump made sense to a lot of people, whether you agreed with some of the antics or, his social policies or anything else. You were like, what's the most important thing to me? And is he paying attention to me? Yes. So you go with that guy.
Well, so Trump.
If it's what is it called?
You know what? Let me tell you why I think
real or not, he was still doing it.
I would give him a lot of or some level of credit, not a lot of credit. And I said this from the get-go. And any leader, one of the biggest pluses for a leader is charisma, and you have to give it to him. He have that. He can engage people. He can.
Like a used car salesman.
He can BS people.
To your point, I literally watched the entire 3 hours of Joe Rogan's interview with him over the weekend, and I was laughing my ass off.
Right, okay.
He's an insult comment.
Right, but not even now. I think people are so used to it. And it's true. What he gets away with, no one can. Okay, because they have given him more or less a free pass. But again, one of the reasons the power structure chose him was because I believe the charisma. He was able to pull it off. Is this? Can we? He has
a simple man charisma that relates to the average American, even though he's not that.
Right.
Even though in reality he's not that.
Exactly. He's not
But
that.
again, are you paying
It goes
attention
back
to
to
a
what I
certain
was telling y'all
demographic?
before. Let's go back to
About
what
what?
we were.
Go ahead.
I honestly feel, even with the, look, let me say this. We have more in common than we have difference,
This
right?
time I've
I,
been listening to Kamala speeches saying the same thing. They have the meeting
Wh-
points.
whatever, because I'm an independent. I don't know about
Were
that.
you raised in the
I
middle
think
class
we
as
are.
well?
But it's true. Okay, how
And
do
Are we
you
all
live
three
your
of us
life? How have you lived your
independent
life?
voters?
How have we lived our lives? Right? We engage any and everyone.
Yeah.
We're inclusive. What we're
Certainly
looking
our
at
family is. I know that.
well, this is what I'm saying. That is what we know. So
Yeah.
when we see something, at least I see something so different to what we are, it bothers me. It bothers me. It really do. This is why I asked the question. How I'm trying to wrap my head around, and I know we'll adjust to whatever situation is. That's why I tell you guys all the time. Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution,
Solution.
right? How is my grandkids gonna, what type of world they're gonna be dealing with in 20 years? If it's a separate type of a country,
Yeah.
it's the tension sometimes that you feel out there. It's un-American, man. It's un-American.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely, and the worst part too. Also, it's been normal in the last 8 years. It's been normalized now. Like Trump,
Exactly.
Trump says so much shit now that it's like, oh, it's just Trump. But if anybody else, any other politician, even on the right, says that, it's like, well, cancel. That's it, done. But Trump is like, ah, it's
But
just
yet
Trump.
they're
No big
gonna
deal.
vote. There's a likelihood based on both of what you guys have said before. There's a likelihood that they'll vote him back in, and he's growing his base. This both of y'all just said that. And before, remember, um, we thought that it's sort of maxed out at around 47%.
Clearly, he's stretching out a little bit
Nah,
larger
man.
now.
The question is who have joined the ranks of MAGA.
Black men is probably part of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
what is it? Black men, Hispanic, the
Men, a
overall
lot of men,
Hispanic population.
a lot of men, definitely, because they
but
like the rhetoric.
misogyny have I think a
Of course, it
part of
does.
that is
No,
misogyny.
It does.
I don't think it's the
This is
To
misogyny
us, it
aspect.
may not, but
this is where I disagree with Obama though with what he said. He wasn't necessarily wrong, but he made it. He made a general statement across the board, when in fact the numbers of black men that have been leaving the party have been going on for 5 cycles now since he was in office. So clearly, that's not this misogyny. That didn't just happen this year when Kamala ran for president or Hillary in 2016. That started in 2008. And he was president two of those terms. So again,
Hmm.
I think the problem I have with Democrats too, especially, is that they don't address their own issues, their own house. They don't they don't address their own house. Now, granted, it's all hard to manage a house that's so
very
wide.
hard.
It's hard to it's a wide scope of. It's a big tent. It's a massive tent.
Yeah.
And I always say this: that liberals are always way more moralistic than conservatives. They will spite their nose to hide their face, like in 2016. Oh, Hillary, really? We're gonna do that? Trump's Hillary. I don't care. I'm staying home. And you may have the same shit this year too. Also with the Gaza issue, especially too. Oh, like my own.
That's part of the reason why I think I would not be surprised if Trump wins, because you have fractured
A
party.
lot of people staying home.
My own mom might not vote this year. Vote for Kamala for Gaza. For Gaza, that's a massive issue because both parties are snuck through the APAC.
She's in Florida. It's going for Trump anyways. It's not,
yeah, I know, and that's what I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. She might still vote Kamala, but she said she has a hard time supporting her because of this issue. Because both her and Biden, because really, if you think about it, even though I agree Trump is worse on the issue.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. Trump's worse than she is. Both parties are pretty much nip and tuck in the same basket. With this one issue.
Do you think Trump would handle it differently than was?
Yeah, he would. He handled it worse.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Well,
your question, yes, he would handle it worse.
But what's the definition of handling it worse?
He will blow the fuck off of, the entire region.
Of course.
You think he would send more military assets over?
More military assets and
Remember
just,
the ego.
Not just
now,
weapons. You think he would send
everything,
like boots on ground?
Absolutely.
You think that he would do that? Okay.
Not necessarily. I think most people would probably say no boots on the ground or very little, as far as maybe the IT people or whatever,
Yeah.
the tech people. But the boots on the ground, that's you're really asking for
And
the
then
war
even,
is cyber now, and
and then even the Ukraine thing now
Strictly
is
cyber.
bad optics too. Also, we're now about to send another
that's another story.
$50 billion to Ukraine. I mean,
But that's okay though. You have to support Ukraine. I believe that.
you believe that? Okay.
If you pull the funding from Ukraine and get rid of NATO, then Putin is going to be Hitler 2.0.
But is he?
Is he though?
That's the thing though. Is
Yeah.
Russia really that big a threat at this point now?
Is Putin really gonna go? Okay, now I'm gonna go and take over the rest of Europe.
Well, he will probably.
Or did he say, hey, don't put any NATO stuff on my border, or I will attack. And then we went ahead and put NATO stuff on his border, and he said, okay, then I'm going to attack.
So you're saying that is what triggered Ukraine situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I tell you don't do something, and you go or I will slap you, and you go ahead and do something, and I slap you, are you going to now say, I'm at fault? I told you what I was going to do.
So sound like your parenting skills there.
I'm just saying.
I'm the same way too with the kids though. Why you hit me, Dad? Well, I literally just warned you you're gonna do that, and you did anyways. Okay, cool. So now
I told you were gonna get licks. You did it anyway. You got licks. Now you're looking at me like, why'd you do that?
Okay.
I told you before it even started.
it's the same.
Okay, so
style.
my concern is that Ukraine will be taken over by Russia, and
Still, even all the money we give them.
Yes.
I'm talking war finish. So and then they would expand into from there. Poland,
or how about this possibility? We spend another $180-200 billion sending money to Ukraine, and they still lose.
Well,
is that not a large possibility? Or let's spend another $1 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part too, also, at least from a lot of people I talk to, the whole issue on the Ukraine sending money over there is like it's actually a nonpartisan thing either. It's close to bipartisan of like criticism of the Biden administration sending gobs and gobs of money.
Trump in particular, with his relationship with Putin, he have said that he have made certain comments.
Yeah.
That Ukraine should I
don't want to say that. I might give Trump credit for this though, because I don't think he would be sending as much money to Ukraine.
Yeah. So again, to my point, that gives Russia free access to Ukraine. They'll win the war.
But it also
if they don't have funding.
But it brings in that body of the voting population that says, why are we spending money in Ukraine when we have all these issues on the homeland? It does.
That goes on forever. This is not the first time, 10th time, 20th time.
Again, yes. And how much did we spend in Afghanistan?
But there's a lot of people.
Yeah, but that okay.
There's a lot.
The point
go ahead,
is,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, there's a lot of people who are just worn on war in general. And they're like, okay, we're done with it now. Between Iraq for the last, between 1991 and 2003, and then Afghanistan for the last 20 years, people are just tired of war and tired of boots to the ground, this and that, and the military complex. They're just over it now. And look, us three are very plugged into the stuff. We follow the stuff day to day. The average American does not. They just see this rhetoric and money going out this way, this and that, and like, okay, what's going on here though?
Yeah, and then you're like, wait, but my rent's up 30 some odd %, groceries are 30, whatever, inflation is where it is. And you're like, wait, I can't afford to live, but we just shipped $50 billion overseas worth of arms, because you're not shipping cash overseas, but you're just seeing the headline, hey, $50 billion are sent here. Another, 8, 7, 9, however much billion dollars is sent there. And you're like, but my kid's school's falling apart. I can't afford groceries. I don't know where I'm going to eat. I got to go and have for the people who move in with me because we can't afford to live. That's what you're dealing with the present day. And I will always say, I forgot who said it long ago, but it's the economy. It's the economy, stupid.
James Carville.
Yeah, James Carville. And I'm like, that's it. And that's why I also am not going to be surprised if there's a turnover in the election and people don't vote for Kamala, because she's still part of this administration.
That's the funny thing too, the economy. That's weird though, because the economy, by the metrics that people use to determine if it's good or bad, is doing fantastic.
If you owned assets,
right,
and if you own liquid assets in the stock market, if you owned a home, if you didn't have a broad disruption to where COVID was beneficial to you, which it was to a number of people, yes. But like, if you were scraping to get by every day, it's only gotten worse for you. If you were, on a zero budget for your dollars, and clearly wages haven't increased at the same rate that you're not saying, okay, well, this is because of the pandemic and the Fed and everything else. You're like, I don't care about any of that.
But
you sent $50 billion. Yeah, but that's the thing. The average person is not thinking that way. And you're saying, when was I better off? Again, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter to the person that's struggling, trying to deal with that every day and doesn't know, you got buying your kids clothes. How are you going to do that?
Those people and also protect your.
You talk to them and teach them. I guess all you can do is teach and talk to them.
Or what somebody might do is say,
have you been doing that over the years?
Well, you have. I know you have.
People might say, let me go and vote for Trump because despite how he acts and everything else, I was better off in 2017.
And there's a lot of that too, also.
In 2019. I'm just saying, there's a reason why people are going to vote for him. I'm telling you.
And let's be real here.
That's not the only reason.
Let's break down the Trump voter. A lot of them, 35% of them,
don't take it to race. Don't take it to race and just say there's a reason why there's going to be a segment, especially of the lower middle class population, that is going to be like, this might make more sense because these last 4 years I've caught hell.
No, I think that there is a segment of that, but it's a smaller segment. Okay, I think the MAGA base is bigger than we think it is. Okay, and they're not shifting at all. It's probably like 35%.
Yeah, 35%.
Okay,
yeah.
Now and that's what I was talking about before. That's that fabric of America, which is anti everything that is not like them. Period. And then there's the people who the tax breaks favors them.
Moderate Republicans.
Right, and then there are other people who. They don't have the empathy for foreigners. It doesn't. The situation policies does not affect them, so it doesn't really matter. And that probably gives you another 8-10%.
But I think that is the empathy for things that don't affect you. That's like a human trait. But that's a somewhat. A lot of people deal with that.
Right. No, I get that, but I'm saying, okay, that makes up, I believe, the majority of the Trumpians, and then the small percentage of Black and Latinos growing. I mean,
small but growing.
In my environment, it's amazing. The male Latinos that I know, probably 8 out of 10.
But a lot of them. But I think a lot of people also. That growing population of Trump supporters in the last, say, like 4 to 6 years, they just hate Democrats, dude. They just hate liberals. They just hate liberals for what reason?
Well, don't even say liberals and Democrats being the same thing. I don't.
But
if I'm looking at it, I don't.
That's how they. That's how they piece it.
But
that's how they piece it.
I don't call a moderate Democrat a liberal.
But that's how they look at it. They don't. Again, people who don't follow us, they like we do. Oh, you're Democrat. Oh, you're libtard. They don't care either way. But they don't understand. Liberals a lot more broader than people give credit for. But they look at liberal Democrat in the same, toolbox. I'm gonna call it.
Well, I mean, I got a lot. When you have Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi wearing kente cloth on Juneteenth, like it looks ridiculous.
It does.
Like it looks disingenuous. And I don't know if they're saying I don't know if they're just like, I don't like that, but it looks like they're pandering and it's disingenuous. That's a part of it, what they don't like. Because I remember, I mean, the jokes running around when they're wearing Kendrick Lamar, you're like, are you really doing that? Or you're like, it's the summer of George Floyd and now you are like, it's disingenuous.
You're doing too much now.
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much. You're like, I don't want to get down with
that. Another reason I'm a little concerned about Kamala too also. So two major publications did not endorse anyone. Washington Post didn't do it, and LA Times did not endorse her.
But didn't both of them wasn't the Washington Post? It was like what's this guy's name that owns the Washington Post? That didn't want them endorsing anybody. And then I think the same thing happened with the LA Times.
Yeah, LA Times.
I think the editorial guy resigned because he said it was brought down from ownership that they don't want them.
Right. Yeah.
No, LA Times. I think that.
You're correct. You are correct, Eric.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I saw him on CNN yesterday.
I mean, is that concerning to you guys?
Well, that they're not voting, endorsing, or that they're being told don't endorse anybody.
They're not
I think
endorsing
they didn't
anyone.
do it in '76 with Carter. That's the only
Carter
time in the past 50+ years.
Carter and Ford. Wow.
And it's not.
Carter and Ford.
Yeah. And '88 also.
That was Dukakis and Bush. Yeah. I don't know if it was. I don't know. But but the thing I get, because there's a lot of like people on the left who are mad about Washington Post not endorsing Kamala. I'm like, are you mad they didn't endorse anyone? Or are you mad they endorse Kamala? Because if they endorse Trump, would you like that also too? Like same energy. Oh, you can just die. He's new to this. Eric, he's new to this.
No, I stay in my bedroom. I stay in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's all right. No, I think it gives the impression that maybe either two things: either A, they're just not feeling strong about the candidate they would normally endorse every 4 years, or B, that they're worried that Donald Trump in his resentful self will start like coming down these publications hard once he's elected president again.
Or as I saw, the ownership of both of the publications, I don't know. I don't think Jeff Bezos owns the LA Times.
No,
he does own the Washington Post. Or that they don't want the smoke with who they think might win.
It's just weird because Washington Post in 2017, the whole Democracy That's Darkness thing, they went all in, and now they're like, you know what? Never mind.
Maybe the ownership doesn't want the smoke with Trump.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So when he go on his if he wins and he go on his revenge tour, how do you guys feel about the revenge tour?
Wait, hold on, but it also could be that they just want to be nonpartisan.
Look, there's another. This is just it's no conspiracy theory because I don't believe in that. But this country now, you're looking at Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Bezos, the tech environment is who's supporting who's with Trump as well.
Yeah,
Silicon Valley.
Who's historically been pro-Democrat, more Democratic leaning.
He's gay, Peter Thiel.
No, but I'm saying who's historically been more Democratic leaning in the tech environment, right? In Cali.
But
it seems that the Democrats aren't the cool kids anymore. So that's the vibe we get.
There's also shifts that I think to some people don't make sense, and the way that they've gone. And we've talked about it before. The Democratic Party is like either very, very far left, and it's a growing far left side, and like moderate Democrats might be like, all right, what's really going on here?
So what's the plan then? Do you cater to the left side that you need those votes too, because they may cost the election again, like 2016?
I'm not in either party, but what I do realize is that you have a very fractured party, and the party that, to me, for my Humpty Dumpty on the wall side, is the Democratic Party seems a lot more fractured in their beliefs and backing and everything else. They seem more fractured than the Republican Party,
right?
And they seem more lock in step with the Republicans seem more locked up with the candidate. They'll look away from all those other stuff if they can get the, whether, they believe in the abortion side of it, whether they just want the tax cuts, whether they don't want, whatever, the immigration side of it, whichever one, they're still willing to, look away from the other aspects that they might not agree with and say, I'll just go for the guy.
Yeah.
And again, man, I will say it again. Dad's anger. Did you take your blood pressure this morning?
I did.
Don't be surprised if Trump wins.
I just think people.
Well, Dad, you know our tradition. I always call you on the phone every.
Democracy is at risk. Yeah. The way that we live, the way that we've known, the life we have known, is at risk.
Do you really believe that, or has
Eric? You sound
CNN...
like
No, but seriously,
a right-leaning.
No, it sounds right naive. We said not right-leaning. It's right naive.
Yeah,
but
to be fair, I'm the same way too, though.
Or
I know that with both of you. This is why I asked about your children, my grandchildren. This is why I asked that question, because it could have an impact.
I definitely think there will be some ill effects, but do you believe in your heart of hearts that the world will then burn, or the U.S. will burn, or she is gone?
I think we could go into a deep recession. Yeah.
Do you know why?
That's okay.
You know why Eric is probably feeling this way too. Also, and I totally agree with him on this to some degree. Like, yeah, definitely Trump is a threat, but the reason why I think Eric feels this way also too is that we've kind of heard this before, even before Trump came in office. We've heard this with Mitt Romney. Oh, Mitt Romney gets elected. Democracy's on the line here. John McCain, same thing. Also, George Bush, same thing too. So I mean, I'm not saying Trump isn't, but at some point you get numb to hearing that every 4 years. Okay, cool.
And
you told us back in 2012 also with Milk Toast Mitt Romney, and what happened? You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, in 2016, all you heard was, Trump gets in office, everything's going to shit. Things are going to shit. We're done for. And then we were like, all right, we got to see his antics on TV all the time. Look at him, we're like, this is ridiculous. You went along, you live your life, and every so often you're looking at the news and be like, I can't believe this shit that he's still in office. You get a scandal, you get 2 scandals, you get 4 scandals a day maybe. But like, did your life fall apart?
Also, where's this like bombshell supposed to come out about Trump? I'm still waiting for it. Like 3 days ago, I'm hearing this. There's a big story that if it comes out, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. And his campaign. We're 9 days away. I haven't seen shit.
More bombshells
about Trump, or the Trump campaign was bringing
about Trump. The Trump campaign is scrambling to.
How much more bombshells do you have? That he's a convicted felon, and he's going to be
on a case that no one gives a shit about, though. I mean, no offense.
That. Exactly. I get that.
Nobody cares about the case, dude.
Remember Trump said somebody on 5th Avenue, and they'll still vote for me? This is ringing truer and truer and truer. They don't care. Any bombshell, October surprise, whatever they call it, it's not going to matter.
Right. He set the tone for it. He's above the law.
There are people that have told me to my face that they doesn't care what he does. He will vote anyway.
Understand what this comes down to? He's above the law.
Of course he is. We've been saying that.
He's now put 3 judges on the Supreme Court.
That's the consequence, though.
That's the consequence. 50 years of consequence. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And that was a concern back in 08, 12, 16, in particular 16.
Yes.
And it happened. And it happened right in our eyes.
I totally agree with you. And I totally agree with you. And that is going to have some long-standing consequences. I mean, they already overturned Roe v. Wade, and you have the affirmative action banning and the other ones that they kind of dissented on or whichever. But overall, and I guess this is going to sound maybe a little bit kind of bad, right?
Go ahead.
But actually, no. It's what do people care most about? Like, if you're a single white male or a single Hispanic male or a single black male, right? What do you care most about? Do you care most that, Trump and, elected judges, these judges now decided to take away these rights, and then states, they sent it back to the states, and then states get to vote on them either, whichever way they want, right? Do you care more about that, or do you care more about, like, where's your next dollar from because you can't, support yourself, or if you have a family, and
the latter,
and that's why, and that's they are willing to, they are willing to, forego. There was this guy, I forgot his name. He's like a conservative radio talk show host, black guy, Shelley Winter, maybe his name.
Okay, I know he is.
In in Atlanta, I think. And I think they had him on CNN. I'm pretty sure I was looking at this clip. And it was a ridiculous comparison. And they didn't let him actually finish what he was trying to say. But he was saying that it sounds bad. He was saying that they were talking about the black vote, the black male vote, and the shift to Trump. And he backs Trump, I think, unabashedly. And he said, the people who are voting for Trump are the field Negroes. And the people who are voting for Kamala are the house Negroes, right?
Mm-hmm,
and he's saying, and they were like, are you saying that, white collar workers, you don't like them or whatever? And he's like, that's not what I'm saying. He's like, the people that are generally everyday doing things with their hands, working, probably everyday workers, they're not in the financial sector doing X, Y, and Z. They're the everyday front lines,
blue collar, blue collar,
and probably less likely to own assets, probably less likely, and they're catching hell a little bit more. They're like, hey, were things better under Trump, or are things better now with the incumbent? That's, granted, she's not president, so it's not her policies, but it's her administration. All right. Even though she might not be she's not literally making all the decisions, but like, it's still, you fall under that umbrella of, I'm worse off technically under you. So should I just kind of shift and say, hey, I think I felt a little bit more comfortable. Forget the fact that he was racist. Forget the fact that, or he used racist rhetoric. Forget the fact that he, installed 3 judges that took away, abortion rights.
Yeah. I'm
not saying to forget that. I feel very strongly that the government should have no place in hand in regulating abortion. I'm saying that I think I understand why people don't care about that. If you need to make sure, hey, I'm dealing with, rising costs of everything in my life.
When it affects you.
Yeah. But like, what's my primary thing? I care about like food that, the food that's on the table for my kids. I'm caring about the schools that, my kids are in, and, the quality of education that my kids are in, trying to get them and save for like college. That's the thing that people care about more. And if you hadn't had like a big, shift in the last 4 years, and you didn't own assets, it kind of gets harder for you. And I see why people are pointing back, and they're like, I get it. Abortion. Yes. I don't believe in, his stance on abortion, but.
Okay. All the economists are saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Including Goldman Sachs, including Wharton School, and a host of economists are saying,
yep,
this policy would put this country in a deep recession.
This dude
right?
loves tariffs. This dude loves tariffs. Bro, on
and
the
you know
Rogan,
what?
They're telling you that.
To them, and to a certain base, they're like, we're already in a recession.
What's that?
To them, they feel like they're already in a recession.
Right there.
No, well, look, again, the dumbing down of America is real. Because most people don't look at a vision for the country, or how the country would impact not only themselves right now, but their children. Right?
Can you blame them when they are more day to day? Why are they caring about the vision in 5-10 years when they're like, I need to make sure?
So these same people who are talking about inflation hasn't been going down, by the way. We all know that. I mean, we all know the reason why inflation was occurred. We know that. It had nothing to do with the Biden administration. Had nothing to do with the Trump administration.
Can I say this really quickly, though? When people say, oh, inflation's been going down, because they say in the town halls, inflation has not been going down to the levels that they were in 2019, 2020. So if you said inflation was going up 2% a year, and that's like the normal rate of inflation pre-COVID, people are saying, what were things like in 2018, 2019, and what are things like now? You've had 8%, 7%,
the environment
5%,
was different,
8%.
Though. The environment was different. If something occurred that normally doesn't occur.
And that's what sucks for
so let's focus on that. So it would take a readjustment. It takes time. Fortunately for America, got way ahead of the world.
Some people don't have time.
I get that, but that life is not only about what's right in front of you. I get that it's a survival thing, but it's how it will. If it's like short-term pain for long-term gain.
But
Right.
if you've been going through the short-term pain
But
for the last 2-3 years, you're saying, wait, how much more short-term pain do I have to deal with this? Now it's long-term pain.
but guess what? So you're gonna make a decision now that's gonna put you deeper in a hole because you're not understanding the policy.
Again,
You're
what
not
happened
understanding
in 2016? What happened in 2016?
Uh-huh.
Trump spoke to people about what they cared about and the things that were they were, and they had the population that had been left behind. They're like, I'll take a chance on him because he's talked to me about it. The problem with Kamala, the problem that she has is that while she tries to distance herself from what's been going on with the Biden election, and it does suck the timing that they came in, right?
Yeah.
When they asked the question, hey, what would you do differently? She's like, nothing, because she doesn't want to dissent. Like, she might genuinely believe, hey, I might have done these different things. I might have done this differently. I might have done this differently, but she can't portray that. Because either way, it's going to come off disingenuous.
It's a cult. I had to say it to you. The Democratic Party's a cult.
Yeah,
it's a cult.
I would say
it's a fucking cult.
No, but I think you have that flipped around. MAGA is a cult.
No, but we do that right. But Democratic Party is a cult.
I don't think the Democratic Party is a cult.
No. But Daddy, I'm talking about the Democratic Party, the people who run the party itself. I'm talking about the actual voters. I'm talking about the people. The Clintons and the Obamas, and they have a certain way how they want things done, and it's my way, highway kind of attitude they have. Okay?
But realistically, they can't.
Any party.
You're part
more
of
so
the
in the
current
Democratic Party than the
administration.
Republican Party, I will say.
But she's part of the current administration. She can't sit there and like openly disagree with what the administration has done.
Yeah, but if you're trying to win an election, you need to do that.
You also don't want to throw.
That's her
Biden
problem. That's
bus.
the problem that she's in. Exactly.
She didn't answer that question. I saw it. I actually was looking at the View that particular day.
That was too.
Yeah. So when Sonny asked her the question, and I was taken aback when she didn't have a proper answer.
I know you're fan of you, Dad.
But not look. She's not perfect. She's not perfect, but I think she would be able to make decisions. And if she doesn't have information on any subject, she would have people who are experts in those fields.
She's status quo. And when it comes to
we
her
need
and Trump,
that right now.
I'm okay with status quo.
We need stability right now, guys.
But for some people, status quo is what they've been living under for the past 2-3 years, and they're like, I'm catching hell. This is why it doesn't surprise me.
Okay, but she's offering you so many options, Eric, right now. If you have any ambition, you have to buy a house. There's programs for that. To go into business,
yes,
there are programs for that.
And I think what she laid out was good.
Right, but these are things. Remember, in society, if the middle isn't strong, you got a problem. Okay, and one of my fears with Trump in power, the middle class will continue to shrink, and then you have chaos in society.
But Trump said he'll tariffs.
Well, that's just gonna put us in a
this dude. No, bro,
in a recession.
Bro, if you watch the Rogan interview,
who's paying the tariff differences? Who's paying? It's the people on this end.
And you know the counter.
The consumer always get,
The best one, I don't know how it flies over people's heads, but he said it. I think it was either a Bloomberg thing or maybe it was some interview he's done. Well, he's like, those companies are just going to bring their manufacturing back to the U.S. So it's like, you think that a company that has been set up and doing business in China or wherever for the last 20 years, 25 years is all of a sudden going to say, oh, well, now, hey, January, whatever, 7th. When's the day of Trump takeover? The tariffs didn't technically happen, right? So call it January 20th. On January 25th, they're going to be like, hey,
I'm going to take over the White House.
No.
Dad, you were a jinx, so stop this. 8 years ago, you jinxed this one. Stop.
Practically speaking, companies are not going to be able to do that, and they're not going to say, oh, now I can just pop up and let me create all of my whatever stuff that I sell to Walmart in the U.S. It's not going to happen. So yeah, there is going to be pain.
This dude, if tariffs
flies over people's heads,
if tariffs was a hot, If Terrace was a hot chick, he'd be fucking it. Seriously, because that dude on Rogan said, he literally said, Terrace, the best word, better than love.
I didn't know you
Maybe
could curse
Terrace.
on this platform.
Oh, dude, have you seen that?
And you
Dude,
such
Have
vulgarity.
you not listened to his...
all the time. Yeah, I curse all the time.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm very filthy. No, that dude on
You're
Rogan
like
though. Yeah, that's probably why I think he's hysterical. But I would never vote for the guy. But no, on Rogan he says, "Terrorists are the greatest word ever. Better than love. Better than love. Tariffs. Dude, I swear to God, I don't get it. I don't get it. But
Well, I'll give you another Kamala non-answer. Another Kamala non-answer though on tariffs when she talks about Trump and the tariffs that he put on in his last administration. The Biden administration also never took them off. So when they bring that up to her,
that's a good point.
In these new, the town halls and everything else, she just talks around it, and that people visibly see, and that's another one of the issues that she has.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. Yeah,
Well,
pick that up too. Yeah,
Kamala
never had an answer for it.
Kamala did get a big endorsement deal this weekend. She got in Beyonce. I mean, if you consider that big,
I'm not this is not even a conspiracy theory, but like she's using the Beyonce song for like all of her
freedom. Mm-hmm.
That's going to come with some back-ended favors.
Is that going to move the needle?
No.
Beyonce endorsement?
No. Taylor Swift moves the needle.
There's a school
not
of
Beyonce.
thought that says that celebrity endorsement doesn't move the needle.
Taylor Swift.
But okay, let's talk about this. This is a question that I often do think about, right? And I don't think we've ever talked about it, right? Oh, we maybe brushed on it a little bit.
But I have go ahead.
The undecided vote, the quote unquote undecided vote in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the data on this. Some people say, actually, I was talking to someone a couple nights ago, like 2 nights ago. She had worked in Democratic political campaigns, and she said, not on any of the active campaigns, I don't think. She said the undecided voter or non-party affiliate, the independent voter is the largest block.
That's me.
Right? It's the largest block of voters, which I'm like, okay. I don't know if that also pertains to the undecided voter, right? But let's just say that they're saying that there's so many undecided voters here.
I don't think there is, though.
I would think there would be independents.
I don't think that there are. I think that like if you knew who you were voting for, excuse my child. If you knew who you were voting for, you can't hear you. He's in the other room.
It's okay.
You knew who you were voting for before. Like Kamala coming in place of Biden didn't like say, oh, well, now I was going to vote for Trump, but now that Kamala's here, I'm going to vote for Biden.
And to your point, the undecideds aren't about Trump or Kamala. It's about whether I go to the polls for Kamala or stay home.
Yes. Yeah.
That's essentially Michigan right there in Arab voters. Okay, I'm not going to vote for Trump.
Right. Michigan, the Israel God thing is
exactly 20,000 Arab Americans are there. I mean, but it's not like Trump wins.
Is that enough? I don't know the data. Is that enough to like kill?
Oh, sure.
Supposedly, yeah. Well,
Detroit
to kill her in Michigan.
Biden only won by 10,000 votes.
But here's what I hope is going on behind closed doors. Is who's best for the Gaza situation after January 20th? Who's best? Who can do something for them? Who can follow through with a two-state solution?
Well, based on rhetoric,
it ain't going to be Trump.
Of the three candidates, Biden, including Biden too also, she's the only one as constantly said we want a two-state.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So behind closed doors, that needs to be said. Because remember,
she said it publicly.
There's so many fragments. Let me just say this, that if you give your opinion on one area, it impacts the another area. So it's hard to cover the Democratic spectrum of issues.
Which is why I say she's in a lose-lose situation, and I will not be surprised.
That's why she's leaning.
In business, sometimes you have to make your deals outside of the public's view.
Which is why
not everything needs to be said.
Right.
But within the public view, you're still shipping weapons to Israel.
Which to your point.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then.
Go ahead.
Then you play the numbers. if you restrict weapons to Israel, who are you gonna upset? The Jews?
But you've
the
already upset
financial
the Jews.
structure? No, and
You've already upset them.
What's that?
No, yeah.
A lot of them are also not voting for Kamala because they're saying that the Democratic Party is anti-Semitic and they hate Jews, and then they look at all the stuff on college campuses.
That's a split.
She's in a lose situation.
Most Jews are Democrats. How could they hate Jews?
And I think they're losing. They're losing support.
They're losing support by I think. But yeah,
there's a percentage of Jewish Americans that are looking at what's going on abroad and what's going on here. I know for sure that they are losing Jewish voters
because Trump on rhetoric is pro-Israel than any other president we've seen in our lifetime on rhetoric. That's why. So he's taking a piece of that pie from that demographic. But I'm gonna get back on the Beyonce thing real quick though. It doesn't move the needle one bit. Like most Beyonce fans are either already voting for her or not voting for Trump at all. So it doesn't move the needle. Beyonce is not. Look, it's not an insult to Beyonce. It goes back to my whole like theory about impact and all this kind of stuff. She doesn't have the same impact in terms of like a wider swath of like fan bases that Taylor has or any other entertainer I've seen in my lifetime. She doesn't have that. She has a base. Her base is mostly black folk, a chunk of gays.
But I think you want to bring out the black vote, especially in these swing states.
Yeah.
And that's where the Beyonce kind of aspect comes into play.
True, but the average Beyonce fan is actually already voting for Kamala Harris.
Yes, but I would also say that I have no data to back this up. My personal feeling is they're either voting for Kamala Harris or they're not voting at all. Like the push is to get them out to vote and get them to the polls.
Whereas Taylor Swift has, I would dare say, even though most of her fans are probably liberal, the number is a little more skewed. Whereas Beyonce is like probably 85-15, or I mean, in Taylor Swift's case it could be 60-40.
Yeah, I also feel that like.
Pardon me?
Is there a number for new registrars?
Is
it broken down by?
Taylor had a shit ton. When Taylor endorsed Kamala back in September after the debate, there was a shit ton of new registered voters on the website. A shit ton. Okay, now doesn't mean you're going to vote for either, but you have to assume that most of that is going to be mostly Kamala. I would say 80-20 Kamala Harris to Trump.
I would love to see like what is the percentage of like newly registered voters that actually vote.
Good question, right?
Yeah, and that's where
I don't know where to get that data. I'm pretty sure it's out there somewhere.
I would think though, if they register to vote, they will push that 80+%. I would hope.
Well, remember, voter registration to a certain extent is just saying fill out this card and give it back to whoever's registering you to vote. Actually voting, it takes effort.
But there was a stimulus. There was a reason why they actually signed up.
Right.
There's a reason.
But isn't it just signing up at a website?
Yeah.
So a bunch of people went to the link that Taylor Swift like gave them, and they clicked on it. I would love to know like what the conversion rate of that is into an actual person that goes to the polls. And
let's be kind and say 50%. Let's be kind. 50%.
He has very large thoughts on this.
Is he a Swiftie?
He's not a Swiftie.
Okay.
He listens to Tejano music half of
but true. But your father is though, Eric.
Does he see me? So you say grandpa just now?
Let me see grandpa and uncle.
What's up, buddy? You got hair. I guess Eric's here from like 1987.
Yeah. But go ahead. You're saying let's just say it's 50%. You think that
being kind. That's still a lot though. That's still a lot. You know?
Yeah, and I think there lies the margin of victory.
Mm-hmm.
Who's able to register more people and turn out those registrars? That's who's going to win.
My larger point is who's endorsing have more impact? Beyonce or Taylor Swift? It's Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. By far.
Not even close.
Not even close. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, right. Taylor Swift definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Not because she makes better music.
But that's a personal opinion. It's a personal opinion, though. But she's by far the. As I told you, Eric, she. Go ahead, Daddy.
The fan base. You said it, Ernest. The fan base.
Yeah, the fan base is rabid. It's a rabid fan base.
She is probably the. Eric and I discussed it on the group chat last week. Taylor Swift might be the fourth phenomenon. I have this theory. We've seen three modern. We've seen in modern music. We've seen three phenomenons in history of music. Michael, of course, the Beatles, and Elvis. I think Taylor's the fourth now. She could be.
Point taken.
So
that can be a whole separate podcast. I'm not even going to comment.
I'm telling you. Point taken. No. I totally agree.
This has actually been a fluke conversation on this podcast for about a year now. Actually, for about a year now. Because I'm not her base or demographic, but I'm a music nerd, and I see what I see.
Oh no, I mean the numbers that she does. I mean,
I know Eric and I had this conversation too, but I'm a Swiftie to some extent.
I just said that. I just said that. See, I told you that's a Swiftie. Yes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I like her music.
I almost asked you if you went to the concert last week.
Well, I ain't gonna pay a couple $1,000 to go see her.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount they're taking all that stimulus money back. That's who's getting the money.
Yeah,
they're getting it's Taylor Swift and Beyonce and whoever else is going on tour charging.
Well, this is where America is
$3,000.
We're not careful. Again, we need a middle class. Who is talking to the middle class? We need in any society, if a middle class ceases to exist or decrease in size, the country goes into a deep depression.
And that's where Trump in 2016 was effective because Donald Trump 2016.
No, he inherited a good economy in 16.
He did. No.
The economy was very strong.
We know the facts, Dad, and I agree 100%.
Right, yeah.
What I'm saying to you is that Donald Trump in 2016 came off as a populist candidate. And it worked. Hillary Clinton did not.
It was happening all, in certain parts of Europe and so forth. Yeah, so it's a movement.
He's not a populist, but
it's a movement. What does this movement have in common? Is that another podcast or?
You can answer that question I want to.
I mean,
you can
throw the immigration part of it.
Yeah,
you can throw the globalization part of it.
The fear of the black and brown. It's taking over their country. That's what the movement is about.
Oh, but on top of that, and I think I can probably say it more readily in America, I think the areas that went for Trump were areas that were affected greatly by the downturn of like manufacturing and everything else that took place over the last
I agree with that
25, 30 years.
In part.
And someone said, hey, I care about you.
I think
I want to do something for you, and no one's told them that in the last 30 years. All they've been saying is like, "Hey, you got to go and do something else."
I'm not so naive to say
never coming back.
Right. I'm not so naive to say that race is a play part in this, but I think class or anything else is bigger.
I'm not. Yeah, major part of
that's what I said. But I think more than anything else, on the surface, class warfare, more than anything else. Which again, you bake in race that you also.
Yeah, when you had started they want to maintain white supremacy, it's not. It's a class thing.
Right. Before we get to the next topic, go ahead. Go. No, I was gonna say before we get going.
At the end of the day, it's all about togetherness, understanding,
joy.
Okay, let me say this real quick.
This man watched Kamala's last town hall, and now we all have to come together.
He's all in
because there's more that we have in common.
You know what's crazy about this though, Eric?
Eric,
you know what's crazy about this? You know what's crazy though about this, Eric? Is at this time 3 years ago, when I asked Dad about Kamala, he was very disappointed in her. We went to the Heat game together, you and I. Heat Jazz game, and you said you disappointed her.
Because I felt since like back in 12, 13, 14, I saw her as a rising star. I had an eye on her all the time. Yeah. And then when she went to the primary in 19, she didn't show well at all. You understand? Look, she's an attractive woman.
Why does that have
But
to be
she
the
needs to
first
be
thing that
more.
comes out? That sounds misogynistic.
No, no, it's not. No, because I want to say this. Because look, it can work for you. It can work against you.
She was kind of hot
Right?
back in the day, though. I can't lie.
She's a smart
Misogynistic to me.
woman, but I think I'm not seeing. I think she would probably be a better administrator than the salesperson
Yeah,
that is
I
needed
see
right
that.
now.
She can't deliver the message, but the actual
She can
work,
deliver much better than
the brick and
Biden,
mortar,
but I think.
of it all. Yes, yeah,
Okay, you understand where I'm coming from. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so but I think she would make a dynamite president. I think she would really do well. I really do.
Mm.
But we need to go behind the seal before we can, she can
Yeah.
let go of what she needs to do. The other thing is what I like about this whole situation is Hakeem Jeffries will be the Speaker of the House if she.
Oh, that's
becomes
already
president.
decided?
If they hold the house, yeah. If they
Well,
hold the
he's in
house.
position to.
No, he's there, yeah, I guess.
They might lose the Senate though. The numbers are saying that the Senate will go to the Republicans.
The Senate's gonna be tight. Right now, the Senate is leaning red by a
correct.
seat.
No.
That
By a
Texas seat, that's cute. What's his
Ted
name?
Cruz and
Yes?
Ted Cruz and
Yeah.
Colin
Yeah.
what his name is, yeah.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz.
It's gonna be hard to flip that. By name
Isn't-
recognition alone.
Isn't West Virginia?
No.
Oh.
No, Manchin gave up the
No,
seat already.
Texas.
Manchin gave it up. No, West Virginia
And
also,
who's
but Manchin gave
running
it.
for it?
I don't
Isn't
know.
it like it's expected to be a Republican that's gonna?
Oh yeah. Manchin was
Yeah.
Republican. Was a right leaning Democrat anyway. So
Yeah,
whatever.
Manchin's a piece of work.
Piece of shit. You can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a closet Republican.
Closet at this point was pretty obvious. Him in cinema. Pretty obvious at this point.
or was a closet Republican.
Yeah.
He became
So
an
before,
independent just. Go ahead.
yeah, for real. Before we get to our next topic, predictions for I'm not saying a prediction. I ask you guys prediction for Election Tuesday.
Kamala.
Okay, Eric.
I'm voting with my head and my heart.
Yeah, you did that in
I think
2016. You did that in 2016, and look what happened. Go ahead, Eric.
Well,
If I'm a betting man, and
You do gamble sometimes.
I do gamble sometimes, I would bet on Trump winning. That's just my own personal feeling. I personally didn't vote for him, but I would bet on him winning.
but who do you
Here's
think
what-
would be best for the country?
Of the two,
Kamala.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
won't be surprised
And
if Trump
same,
wins.
Same for you, Ernest.
so you ain't gonna answer that question. In terms of who I think's gonna win, I'm not. I already said in the podcast, I'm not going to give a prediction because I don't know how to feel this thing. If you're asking me gun to my head based on the vibes right now, it feels like Trump's gonna win. But I could be wrong. Again, I had the same feeling 2 years ago during the midterms, and look what happened. You know what I'm saying?
So I go
I'll
back
let you
to the
down.
groundswell. I believe there is a groundswell.
down.
I believe that people would understand. It goes back to 08 when McCain went
Yeah.
back to Washington when there was what was the crisis in October of 08?
Yeah.
The meltdown, the economic meltdown.
Oh wait, yeah. Mhm.
And when that occurred, you saw America said, this guy doesn't have the ability to lead. He doesn't have that that management skill that is required. I remember Barack saying you have to be able to do many things at the same time. So what I think is in 2 weeks to go, I believe Trump is gonna F up so bad.
You've been
And I
saying
know
that
a
for
lot of
months.
you get a pass on everything, but they're
Months,
gonna
maybe
press.
years.
Years.
They're gonna press on certain buttons. They're gonna get something.
What button is left to
And I
push,
think
Dad?
it gets
We're 8
shifted.
years in. This guy's.
I have no reason. I have no understanding of why you think that. After all this time,
You were way
you're
more-
saying, "Oh, it's something's coming. It's not happening."
It may not.
And even if it did happen,
let me
his
explain
base
my
would
point.
still
Let me
go through.
explain my point. It may not be about something that occurred to him in the past. It may be a situation, us in 08, when people had the realization who would be best to handle these type of crisis. So it's
Yeah,
not
that's
about
probably not good for the incumbent administration if something like that
problem,
happens.
Dad, with that is while I agree with you in theory, we are a totally different country than we were in 2008.
But remember,
Totally
Bush was in power.
Yeah,
when
Bush was very
happened.
unpopular.
That's why it didn't work out well for John McCain.
John McCain was screwed. Yeah,
he was screwed either way.
George Bush's approval rating by the time he left office was like 25%. So, at the same time, hold on. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so take an 18-minute and 30-second break, quick important phone call. As I was saying before we pause this, I think for me, like I said, gun to my head, I think Trump wins, but that's based on vibes. I got this wrong in 2022 though, because of the midterms. I was so dead set. I remember doing podcasts for weeks leading up to the midterms that we're gonna see red wave and this and that and inflation, and I was dead ass wrong about that one. So maybe it's the same thing again.
And you'll be wrong again.
I hope I am.
You will be wrong again.
Well, again, Dad, your track record is not the best track record on this either. So
I'm good.
No, so
I think the whole country was shocked when in 2016. It was only me.
What scares me about this though is that there are similar vibes I'm getting.
Mm-hmm. But no, listen to this. What didn't Hillary do? Hillary
campaign
didn't
in
finish.
Michigan. Well,
she didn't finish, and that makes a big difference. There's a lesson there. You can't get complacent and think you got this. And I think naturally,
that's a fair point. But there's a test case now with Trump, where the same people that are more so disaffected now will say, was I better off in 2017, 2018, 2019?
2020,
and the beginning of 2020.
Also, I don't like the whole Liz Cheney thing. I know, Dan, you and I got in an argument about that a couple days ago on a phone call. I get the endorsing part, like, yes, endorse her, whatever, cool. But that family is actually the reason I left the Republican Party in the first place. Like, Dick Cheney is the most unpopular VP in the history of this country. And you have his daughter, granted it's by proxy, but his daughter literally not just endorsing you, but campaigning with you. That's going to alienate people on the left.
But his daughter can stand alone. She has proven herself to be
maybe I'm just paranoid, and maybe I'm just being
she got
a little
more kahunas than most of the men.
I agree. I'm talking about optics though. But people on the left see that's like, oh, what the hell? Like, so you know, a woman who is not supporting
I
Trump,
can
but
vote
also
for her in the future.
You could on policy?
Oh shit, yeah. Well, I have to see her policy, but I like the fact.
Then why you say you can vote for her?
That's what I'm saying. Why would you say that?
I said I could.
Policy matters first for me.
You know what?
Based on what? Based on
no, I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Based on the fact that she went against the grain and stood up on principle. Yeah. That says a lot about a person's character.
That's a partial reason that people voted for Trump.
Yep.
Not for his character.
For that reason right there.
Not for his character.
Went against the grain and stood up just on whatever principles he was spouting. I don't think any politician.
There was no principle. Okay, They took a chance. And keep the difference is that the reason they did, and they were comfortable with it, it was because they were tired of the Washington politicians.
That's the principle. So people liked it. People ate it up.
This guy, and remember,
like your boy Obama.
And remember, he came. They had an image of him, of this very successful businessman, right? And of course, The Apprentice and all that crap, which was just entertainment. So the image that they had give him a major, and of course, I would always say, he has or had charisma. And that is a winning formula for most politicians. Which is big advantage. Charisma.
Which is disclaimer, don't be surprised if Trump wins.
I love tariffs. I love tariffs.
In 12 days.
Tariffs are great. I like better than love. I love tariffs.
I still think Harris is going to win, and she's going to win big.
You're a very optimistic daddy. I hope.
Well,
you're
that's who I
correct.
am, and I'm not gonna change.
You're not gonna change who you are now in your
No.
in your
I'm
late
an
40s.
optimist. Always
You're not
will
gonna
be,
change.
because I would always look for the silver lining.
You're not gonna change in late 40s. It's okay.
Boy,
All right.
I wish that was the case. I would have had you at what, 1 year old?
Shit. Is that possible? No.
I'll be like super sperm.
Yeah, exactly. super sperm. That's super sperm steroids. Anyway, quick Heat topic. So he won last night in Charlotte. Which, by the way, Earl Jr. was there at the game.
Earl went to the game.
Charlotte. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that first game has left me like, I guess Orlando left me like, what the fuck was that shit?
No, Orlando.
You want to know my theory
real.
in this?
It's
a conspiracy theory in these first
conspiracy
two
theory?
games.
Okay.
Yes, this is my conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
Jimmy Buckets, he wants his new contract and extension.
He's not getting it.
I think he said, I'm not gonna particularly play in this first game. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And also Orlando's really good, and Paulo Banchero's just he's a beast. But I think Jimmy, he started the second game and was like, I'm gonna play like every other game, and you guys are gonna see the impact that I have on the team. And I think that he wants to hold the team somewhat hostage and say, you can either let me go for nothing with no other strong free agents really coming up in the next 2 years, and you don't have any trade chips.
Do you think that?
No one, you can't. There's no one on the block is tradable except for Bam, and you're not getting Bam. You're not.
So
trading Bam.
he's gonna spite his nose to hide his face.
No, he's like, I think
he has no leverage.
Like, look, no. But the leverage that he does have is either you guys go below mediocrity, and you guys aren't going to be a good team. I don't think this. Again, this is a conspiracy theory. This is my own conspiracy theory. He wants what, like 2 years, 60 some odd million, 60 mil or something like that. That's his extension.
That's actually doable though. 2 years, 60 million.
2 years, 60 million.
30 million a year
for Jimmy.
$30 million.
No. It's $60 million a year. 120.
No, hell no. No. $30 million, y'all.
Right?
No way.
Yeah, but he's at 44. So let's just say
30 million.
I think
yeah.
He didn't. What is it? He didn't want. What they were offering, like 54 for 2 years, $54 million a year for 2 years, and he said no.
Oh,
he wanted
the
extra third. I think he's eligible for like a 3-year extension. That's like averages 60 mil a year. They offered him 2 mil.
36?
They offered him
35? 37?
He's 35.
35.
And they offered him a 2-year deal. I think it was an average of like 54 a year, and he said,
"Here's
no
the bottom
to that.
line, Eric.
He
If he
wants
was
the
Kevin
max.
Durant, I would say go right ahead. Kevin Durant's game is in the age. It's in the age grade. Jimmy Butler's game, not so much. And I said this 4 years ago. Develop an outside game. That will be your saving grace. He has not done that. Now he's paying the price for that.
Yeah. Well, you have to give him credit though. He does have an outside game in the clutch situation, right? Look, I honestly I wouldn't pay him. I wouldn't. Oh, okay. I wouldn't pay him more than 30 million.
He's getting 45 right now, 46.
Yeah.
I would pay him 45, 46 for the next.
His value is
years.
Diminishing.
They just don't want him to be.
And he doesn't play anymore. He barely plays during the season anyway, as is. So what are we doing? Like, I hate to be an asshole here about this, but look, Jimmy, thanks for everything you've done for us. I appreciate it. But at the same time, you need to kind of show up because, like, yes, great runs in the finals, twice in the last, 2020 and 2023. I get all that. But you kind of need to play some games, to at least avoid the play-in too also.
Let's take the scenario that Jimmy goes into free agency. Where do you think he even fits for any type of money that he like? Who? I don't think anyone's going to give him a 3-year contract. That's why he have all the leverage. Right? Mm-hmm. But again, if that's why my conspiracy theory is my conspiracy theory, right? But they wanted him at 2 years, $54 million. So they're just either going to stretch it down to that aspect, and I think he's just going to end up taking that. But it's just going to be pie on his face because he's been making all this noise about.
Of course it is.
Not wanting it.
If
$54 million a year.
If this team let Dwayne Wade walk, who the fuck is Jimmy Butler? You know what I'm saying? No offense, Jimmy Butler, but look.
But it's a lose for everybody. But it is a slight win.
Really.
Someone's gonna take.
No.
Someone can sign Jimmy for another year or two.
Eric, you know who would take him?
Who?
If he fit in with a team like
The Sixers.
a team that is Sixers, Minnesota, even you all may laugh at this. Well, anyone on the verge of breaking into the top 3, Phoenix may be a good fit.
If you can
You
afford
know,
them.
that's
the
it.
thing, to afford him. All those teams
But
are,
I would
except for
get rid of Jimmy.
Minnesota.
I mean, I appreciated him in the last 4 years, but I never thought he had a total package of a leader. He was no Dwayne Wade.
He was
But
no
I could
Dwayne Wade.
appreciate him, and I thought that if we had and y'all remember, put the right people around him, but he should not be the number one option.
But that right
If
there
he's
is
the
the key.
number
We
one
didn't
option,
put the
something is
right people
wrong.
around him.
Put
And
it this
I would
way.
make a case that Jimmy has done more on his own. Well, no. Okay. I'm not going to say that because he has Bam.
No,
but
say
I would
it.
make the
Say
case
it.
that Jimmy was extremely effective and almost more effective. And I love Dwayne Wade, but almost more effective in the results than Dwayne Wade was on his own.
So Dwayne Wade. Okay, so Dwayne Wade won a title. Let's exclude LeBron. The LeBron years.
Yes, LeBron years.
Won a title
Exclude
in
those.
06. He was the best player in that team.
He won with Shaq.
What about Shaq? Although Shaq was on his very last
In
leg
decline,
as a league player.
Shaq was an automatic still 20 and 10 or 18 and 9.
Yeah. No, you still need that. You can't win the NBA yourself. But that's the thing though, too. You got to get out of that mindset that you can't win by yourself in the NBA. Not even Michael Jordan did that.
No, I agree. I'm saying all things equal. I think that Jimmy has, at the very least, at the very most, done just about as well as Dwayne Wade did with no like other resources.
There's a case to be made for that. I actually agree with you on that. To be honest with you, I agree with you.
Like 2 finals appearances.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
there's a case to be made. I mean, Jimmy Butler is probably a top 5 Heat player of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done more than Joe did.
He's got 2 finals appearances.
You can make probably the third 3.
And
how? Well, 3 or 4.
Bam was in his second year?
Third
when they went to the finals in 2020?
Yeah.
Third year.
Third year?
Yeah.
And a rookie Tyler Hero.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. People are going to say, "Oh, it's
that's a big disappointment."
And it was the COVID year. Fine.
No, I'm not going to hold it against them. But there's the argument of saying, "Well, it's a COVID year. If all things equal, we don't get COVID. Do the Heat even in that position?" And I can
went to the Eastern Conference. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals the next year.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Well, 2 years later. The very next year that the Milwaukee swept in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Milwaukee swept them. Then they went to with the practically the same team, went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And then went to the finals the next year.
Yeah, that's true. No, Jimmy. It can be argued Jimmy has done.
Remember, that was the year that what's his name, Milwaukee guy was injured.
Tucker.
He got hurt, and then the Heat team.
No. That was
on
no. The last one, yes. Yeah, the last one.
The year they went to the finals. Yeah.
And Giannis got hurt.
And I'll make the case we could have gone farther last year. Jimmy didn't get hurt. Against the Sixers.
I don't know if you guys heard the episode I did 2 weeks ago. I did my top 25 rankings for the players.
Yes, I did.
Year. All right, Jimmy's on the list. He's on the list. So you can't sell me paying a guy who's not top 25 not being on the list. Sorry,
I meant to text that. I meant to text you on it because your boy. I mentioned it to Earl too. Chris, his list was just.
Like, he's a hot take artist, dude. Yeah, yes, Chris, you can hear this later on. You talking about you?
What is going on here? But I think to not have Jimmy in the top 25 is
you gotta play. Egregious. You gotta play. That matters.
Fine, but Jimmy is still. I mean, what did he have last night against Charlotte? Like
26,
25, 26?
26. Yeah.
26, 8 and 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
He's still when he plays, he's still a top 20 player.
Yeah,
and if you do that, you got to put it across the board.
He had Embiid at 13, I think.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy still has to be in there.
Other than Jimmy, who had a good game last night?
I didn't see the game last night. I had a I'm heavily into this World Series right now. Heavily.
Did
What
the
a series.
Yankees won
I
last
think
night?
Bam had,
Nope,
Bam had a
lost
decent
again.
game too.
Oh shit!
But Shohei got hurt last night though, so we'll see.
Really?
Yeah, he may have broken his arm. We'll see.
Hmm.
How the hell did he do that?
You slide for second
Sliding?
place, stealing second place.
Wow.
Great, sir. This has been a great playoffs in general in baseball.
It's confirmed that he broke his arm.
Not confirmed yet. No, it looked like he put pressure on his arm or his shoulder. So, but yeah, we need another whale. And I had Dave Ramil on, one of my buddies who covers the Locked On Heat podcast last week, and I asked him, is there a possible whale that the Heat can grab onto? And he's like, not necessarily. Like everybody's locked in. Everybody who's in the situations are locked in the situations now. Like you might get a disgruntled guy here and there. Maybe Giannis decides to say, "I'm ready to get out of Milwaukee." This is the all in from Milwaukee, I think, really, for Giannis. It's maybe him, but beyond that, maybe even Kevin Durant if he decides to get like Anthony and Phoenix. But really, this is the team. This is the team that there's no market for Jimmy right now. There's no market.
Won last night. Phoenix won the night before.
They lost. No. They lost to LA on Friday.
I thought they beat the Clippers.
No, Lakers. They beat Clippers.
Oh, they lost the Lakers. Beat the
Lakers played well.
Lakers 3-0. JJ Redick, coach of the year. 3-0. 3-0.
So far.
3-0.
I would hate to give Elijah his
It's
his
3
props,
games, bro.
But
tell your son to relax.
I'm saying they do look good. I mean, he says it every year. This is our year. But
he's a homer.
They do look good.
No, he's a LeBron fan. Period.
He's LeBron.
Well, I love it.
He's
it's
a LeBron nut hugger, but they do look good. I will say that.
Speaking of LeBron, you guys into this LeBron Bronny thing? I'm so tired of it, dude. Give me that's cool.
I'm tired of the media making a big deal about it.
Thank you. Yep.
It is a big deal.
I don't think LeBron is. Okay, they played together. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, like, life is gonna life, and like he has a 4-year contract. Develop the kid. He's gonna work. But the media, like, it. Again, I get it. It was the first time it happened, but like, you don't need to interview him in the pre-games, each and every, like the pre and post game each and every time. Like, just treat him regularly, because I don't think it's good for like him. I don't think it's like when he goes down to the G League, it might affect the synergy down there with the team down there. It's just, I think he's going to be a good player in the NBA.
He is.
I think he'll grow to be like a serviceable player and have a career in the NBA. But you don't need to be doing all this, like putting him in post game. It kind of makes it just look like you're doing too much.
I think the reason why I'm it's definitely marketing from LeBron. The reason why I'm like so over it though is because like I watched him in UFC and I don't see NBA player right away. I don't see it. He's there because he's there because his father.
I mean, fair, but he's like Gilbert Arenas has been saying for God knows how long. He's a 55th pick. Okay,
I get it.
It's not like there's a comp for it. You don't know what the first first round pick. I don't even remember his name. Alex Sarr, was he the first pick?
Yeah, a French guy.
What did he do?
Atlanta.
You got more people criticizing this kid. Yeah, you got more people criticizing the 55th pick and talking shit about him because he's LeBron's kid than are criticizing the first round, the first pick of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Just like leave him alone, let the kid develop, and I think he's going to be good. Honestly, I think he can probably maybe develop into like a Gabe Vincent type of player.
Oh, go figure. Gabe Vincent's on that bench,
and Gabe Vincent is on that bench.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like,
has he played this year?
Yeah, he did.
I think so.
And he played well too.
Yeah,
about damn time.
Yeah,
but I think that's a good comp for him.
Yeah,
he complimented LeBron very, very well. I think. Well, I guess both of y'all will agree or have said it already. LA looks good. LA looks damn good.
3-game sample. Yep, I agree.
If Davis stay healthy,
yeah,
we'll definitely check in a couple weeks about this. We'll definitely check in about that.
Yeah. That's a big if, but yeah.
So Wemby. I had him top 10. I am top 10 on my list entering the year, number 9. Now Chris, I think had number 7 or 6, and Zach same thing around the same time, same number. He's going to be best player in the NBA next 2 years. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know about the next 2, but he's going to be the
next 2. Who did be best player next 2 years?
You
The
know
Jokic
what
holding
he
all
did
up?
in Orlando?
Banchero?
Orlando?
Banchero's
He's a bad boy.
he's what is he, third
And
year?
he's gonna get better.
And he still has
6'10".
room to go.
What?
He's
6'10" and he plays 6'4", 6'5".
So Zach Degenerate, like he's a bit massive Magic fan. I always tell him all the time in the podcast. That's why we do a podcast. By the way, Paul Banchero, future Heat player. He gets mad at me all the time. He gets mad at me all the time. He's like, shut up. I mean, you gotta keep one from one.
I
It's
would
been a long
love
time.
that. You put him with Jimmy? Yeah.
Well, it'll be another 2
Jimmy
years when
gone.
it happens. Jimmy be gone by then.
Wait,
So
but
what's the
let's go
story
back.
with Hero, man?
Yeah, let's
about
go
him?
back to the Heat real quick.
Oh, here, okay, what's up?
We gotta take a look at the roster, right? And I think we've been like this for probably like the past, give or take, 5 years. We've given
It's a good
bad
roster,
contracts
though.
out. I
Without
know. We've given bad contracts out. We've
Mhm.
we've had to dispose of them. Everything we the money we had to spend. I mean,
I
we
wonder
gave Duncan
about Kyle
Robinson.
Lowry. I wonder about Kyle Lowry already, though. I wonder about Kyle Lowry.
Oh yeah. That was a horrible contract too. Duncan Robinson's contract, not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Hero's contract, I think that's about market. I think we got that right.
I think also looking at it in hindsight now, it's actually not a bad deal.
No,
he's a third best player to give you 20 points a game.
Yeah,
I mean, what can you ask for?
And then Bam is Bam.
Yeah,
but that's about market. But we're paying market for Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bam added a perimeter game this year, so if that happens,
I mean, Hero scored 22 last. Hero scored 22 last. Hero scored 22 last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, and he haven't played yet.
Jaquez, he had 6 last night.
Oh, okay.
6 and 4.
What about the rookie center from Indiana?
Khalil Ware.
He's tailed off.
I think he's played yet.
No, he played the end of the last game, I think.
Yeah, garbage time.
He played garbage time against Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna be okay. Too early to tell.
I like the prospect of him.
Yeah,
can shoot the three. It seems to be a good, a pretty good defender. The problem that he might have is defending like the stretch fours and the fives of like Jokic, but everyone has a problem defending Jokic, Embiid. But those guys that can take you out, he'll probably get destroyed by Giannis. But I think, if they can develop him, he has a lot of upside potential. I like him. I like that.
But he can score. I think he's a natural scorer.
And he's a stretch. He's a stretch 5. He can shoot the 3.
And he seemed like a person who has a decent IQ that can learn. He can layer as the years go on.
And he's athletic. His lateral movement's not great, but he's athletic.
7'1". You get a athletic 7'1".
He's got to earn his keep though. With Spoelstra being stubborn as he is, he got to earn his keep.
Yeah,
Spoelstra's very stubborn. He likes once his done his way. I get it.
Who's the breakout player for the Heat this year?
Jovic.
Okay, so this is the last one I was getting to, and you guys, I don't know. I don't know, and this is the question I have. Mm-hmm. How long do we let the Jovic experiment go on before you're like, all right?
10, 4, and 6 last night. 3 minutes a game.
I like him.
In 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think he'll give you 2 threes and he'll put in a couple putbacks. He'll run the court.
21, Eric. We got him at 19.
Okay, but what do you think we're going to come to a point where we got to make decisions, right? Because the Heat aren't going into the apron, a crazy apron again with all the talent that they have, right?
Nor should they.
Jaquez or Jovic, you're going to keep Bam probably forever. Let's just say he stays on the same trajectory as Bam is a Heat lifer.
Heat lifer. There it is. Heat lifer. There you go.
Hero, if he's scoring 25, 26 points a game, you probably have to pay him.
Hero haven't improved though.
I think
What are you talking about?
I think Hero will still have trade value at some point because someone's going to want a 20-something points a game guard. I think the problem is they didn't want in Portland because of that situation, and they were trying to fleece the Blazers and all that.
But also he's subpar on defense at best.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what you're getting with Tyler Hero. What team needs just an injection score, but what team can start just an injection score? And not a lot of teams really just want that.
That's true.
If you have just a pure score, they're probably the second person. They're the second guy on the
team. And to your point, at that price tag, especially to your point.
At that price tag. I mean, he's at what, like 32, 33 a year now? By the time he comes up for, his contract's up, I mean, granted, it's all about where the salary cap is, but like, you're probably paying him $40 million a year if he's scoring 25 points a game.
So Tyler here right now, he's getting this year 29 million. 29 this year, 31 next year, 33 the following. So you have 3 more years to play with this.
Yeah, so he's getting $35 million on his, at least.
He's still young. He's still young enough to also. He'll be 28.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be 28 in 3 years. So he'll have value. We'll see. Who wins West this year so far? I mean, I know 3 games in, but I think that's a wide open suck. That's a wide open.
I like who I think is really good. Be careful, Minnesota. My favorite player in the league right now is what's his name in Minnesota, the kid
Edwards. Yeah, another guy.
Oh, I love that dude.
I love his game. He's a prototype basketball player. Prototype.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how quickly they integrate Randall and DiVincenzo, and like if they can just like build on
33 Friday.
All right, yeah. I mean, this is his contract year. He still has some good headway. Yeah.
I know. I picked before the year started. I think I picked OKC. Did I pick OKC? No. Dallas. Sorry, Dallas. I had Dallas. I'm apologize. I had Dallas.
Yeah.
Denver isn't Denver 0-2 now? 0-3?
Oh no.
Did they?
They lost 2 games already.
They still have the best player in the league right now.
I don't know, but I'm a little worried about that team though, because I feel like with Denver, they lose KCP, which is actually a big loss to give credit for. You got Russ in there, and that's cool, obviously, but I don't know. I think Denver, like, they're starting to slowly, if Porter Jr. doesn't step up his game.
Murray has started.
He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. Porter Jr. I think is plateaued.
Yeah, Denver's
really gone down. I mean, I don't think that they come out of the West if like how they are right now, but you never know. Jovic can just be like amazing, more amazing than
of course.
Yeah.
By the way, the playoffs are today. Miami is the 7th seed. I'm joking.
It's about right.
Standard, right? Standard.
Yeah.
One last thing we got here. One last thing. Do y'all believe in the Knicks?
Love the Knicks.
I'm that's the other story that I'm very curious. That whole Minnesota Knicks swap.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how it ends up. I'm not like a big fan of Cat, but I think he works well on that team.
Never been a fan of Cat.
And I like Thibodeau as a coach. And they have a top 5 starting lineup what they're rolling out in the league.
They're in the Eastern Conference Finals for sure.
It would be a shame if they don't make it. And something has to go wrong if they don't make it. But they have a lineup that should be able to go pretty far.
So on paper, they have the second best team in the Eastern Conference. Clearly. I will still put them ahead of Philadelphia. Philadelphia's top heavy, but top heavy with 2 guys that cannot stay healthy, but by the way, haven't played a game yet.
Yeah.
Look, they're probably hurt for real, and I get that. If I'm a Sixers fan, though, I'm pissed off, dude. I'm like, what? Come on, really?
But you got to take a swing. So this is the problem that I have, right? So Philly has to take a swing when you have the window. It's the same thing with why I get pissed off at the Heat. Like, I think we just lost our window.
They try.
If Paul George is there, you try and you sign Paul George.
Yeah, of course. I get all that.
It's what you have to do. Like Embiid's what, 30?
No, it's 27, 28. 27, 28, I think.
20. Okay.
I'll look at that.
Embiid is often, off injured, but like you got to maximize where he is. He's not going to be doing what he's doing at 34, 35. So like this is his peak time. You got to get someone to pair him with.
Oh, he is 30.
Maybe.
Holy shit.
Okay, there you go. So like you only got 4 more years.
Not
max.
even.
Not fair.
I can make a real argument that this could be his last peak year.
It might be.
Because
so you got to swing for it.
Yeah. He look, granted, he's a perimeter player. That works out, helps him out to some degree. But he's always hurt.
Yeah.
You know, after a couple of years of being relatively healthy, now he's going back to the always hurt thing again. He's always saying he's not playing back-to-backs now, which is silly in my opinion. I don't see how that helps you.
The league may have something to say about that.
It doesn't work. Low management doesn't work. Look at Kawhi Leonard. Doesn't work. So just play the damn games. Play the damn games.
What was his extension for? He's in the league for four more years.
Let me see.
3 years, 193 million or something ridiculous.
Yeah, he got an extension recently too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the vibe coming out of Philadelphia. To be honest with you, I don't like it. I really don't like it.
I don't like it, but you got to take the swing for the fences. If it's there, you got to do it.
His new deal hits.
But you would have lost Embiid if you didn't. So
check this shit out. So, like right now, he got an extension off in addition to the current contract. So in 2 years, it kicks in.
Okay, 2 years.
It says estimate though. I don't get that. Hold on, how's that work?
Is it like 1 to 35% like max of whatever the salary cap is at
so
the time?
the cap hit is 60 million. Well, 59 and 59.5, 64.3, and then 69 with a player option in 28, 29, maybe 24 years old.
Shit.
God bless you, Philadelphia. You better get a ring out of that one. I don't see it.
But you have to take a swing. You got Maxey. You got to capitalize on what you have there. You have
if they are
Embiid,
healthy,
you have Maxey and Paul George.
Yeah, 4 years,
if they are healthy at the end of the year, they will be a tough out.
Of course, yeah, but that's the thing. You just mentioned it. If and only if. But the thing is that
because of
what are they going to do? Pay someone $35-40 million a year? Granted, you probably may not go into luxury tax or whatever, and then just have a subpar team, which you can't go far, and then you spend the next 2-3 years.
I'm not suggesting that the deal was a bad deal. They had to do what they had to do. I agree with what they did with Paul George. It's just that now you got to cross fingers and hope for their sake that they're healthy, which unfortunately for those guys, their history says otherwise.
Yeah.
But to me, I think Milwaukee's underrated again now.
I think Milwaukee, but if Middleton is
injured right now,
like continuously be injured, like they'll go. I can see them going, getting into the playoffs, 3rd, 4th seed, and they probably take it unless Dame Dallas has it in them to really carry it all the way.
Yeah,
Eastern Conference Finals max. I don't see them getting out of the East though. I don't think they're deep enough
unless they get the right matchup.
Unless they get the right matchup.
But Boston is going to be better than last year.
Boston's going to be murking everybody this year.
I think the Jason Tatum disrespect finally came. I think he finally felt it. I said during the summer.
I think that's such bullshit.
What do you mean?
Look, Steve Kerr coached the Olympic team.
Yeah.
Like Stephen A. Smith is, how are you going to come to someone before the game? He was not playing well in all the games leading up to that. I think Steve Kerr looked at it and says, I can take someone going, 0 for 9 or 0 for 8 or 1 for 18 or 2 for 18 and play them continuously if it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the best shooter ever.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum goes through cold spells, takes way too many step back threes as it is.
He does actually.
And it's not like he's not a glue guy, so it's like, I'm playing Drew Holiday over Jason Tatum.
But you can't.
I'll play Derek White over Jason Tatum.
You can't find 3 minutes of Jason Tatum. 3 minutes.
I trust Steve Kerr's decision making and what occurred.
Well,
and I don't see it as disrespect. I'm just seeing it as like, yes, you had a great season. You were first team All NBA. You won the finals. I don't think you're owed anything on the Olympic team because you did that. I think when sitting on that team, you get in where you fit in. Some games you don't fit in. And then he wasn't super effective when he was in. So what's the big deal?
Look, he had 37 last night. I think he had 37 night. I think the other night against New York.
He went crazy on New York.
3 games sample right now. He's MVP. Yeah, I mean, I was a 3-game sample aside.
Okay.
He had 25 against Washington in a blowout. Like, if they repeat and Tatum's MVP and Finals MVP, fuck you, Steve Kerr, for doing this. Seriously, Steve Kerr caused this shit.
But is it really fuck you, Steve Kerr? They won the Olympic gold. Steve Kerr had one.
No.
Coach the team to an Olympic gold.
No. I agree. What I'm saying to you is that my criticism of Jason Tatum for his entire career is that he's probably a top 5 player, but he's not in my eyes because he doesn't have the dog in him. Maybe it took him going through the situation in the Olympics and also the disrespect from the Celtics as a defending champion to say, you know what, screw it. Because right now, 2-3 games, he's MVP.
Yeah,
It's only 3 games.
Great.
But I get it. I get it.
So
I'm probably just leaning too much on the meme culture against Jason Tatum. That's why
He's so
I'm just like,
boring.
I don't care.
He's a nice kid. He's a nice kid. I can hang on with him, but he's Tim Duncan. He's meh.
Yeah, that's
He's
a good
mid.
comp actually. That's a very good.
Yeah.
That's a very good comp.
Hey, he won 5 rings.
He could end up being the best of all one of the best of all time.
Forward.
But then you're always gonna be like,
Yeah. Is he top? Is Tatum now top 10? Well, top 5 Celtic all time.
Yeah.
No.
When you guys were saying that, I'm like, yeah, he is. I don't know.
No, you got to think about that really.
But Dad, you're old.
He's
Russell,
top 5.
Havlicek,
He's 5.
Bird.
Russell.
No, I said
Cousy.
Russell, Havlicek, Bird,
Sam Jones.
Johnson. Huh?
Jen Johnson's on the top 5.
McHale.
Yes. Not.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
Cousy.
No, I didn't say John. I said Johnson only because I didn't remember McHale offhand.
You have to put him in top 5 based on what he was doing, not by himself, but it was just him and Jaylen Brown.
No,
Yeah.
he's there.
Like,
He's probably the 5th.
He's consistently been deep into the playoffs, went to the finals, won a finals.
Every
It doesn't
year.
matter the finals.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. We're there now. So he's taking him over Paul Pierce.
Yes.
Oh shit! I forgot.
When all is said and done,
Because I agree with Eric on this one for the record.
Pierce.
I agree with Eric on this one for the record.
Paul Pierce is a dog, though, guys.
When all is said and
I hate
done,
Paul Pierce though.
He won.
He's going to be better than Paul Pierce. His trajectory is already going to have him ahead of Paul Pierce.
It's true.
Matter of fact, look, I'm a major Tatum fan.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I'll tell you too. I'm a major Brown fan too. I just like the Celtics. I don't
like the Celtics, but I like all of their players. I hate the Celtics, but I like all of their players.
Yeah.
And the nice guys. I like Jaylen Brown.
You can't not like the players that they have on that team.
Man, let me tell you something. White is to me.
My wife hates him. My wife.
You know me. I
He's
almost died when Drew Holiday went to the Celtics.
Oh man, because
I wanted Drew Holiday so bad over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might have shed a tear when we didn't get Drew Holiday. Okay.
My wife cannot stand.
I was cursing Pat Riley's name. He probably tried. I was cursing that we didn't get Drew Holiday, and he ended up going to the Celtics.
Yeah, me too.
I hate the Celtics, but I like everybody on that team. I can't. I like the coach. I like their system. I just hate the Celtics.
And here's the thing: they can probably win without what's his name, 7'3" center.
Porzingis.
Yeah. And when he comes back later on in the season, sparingly,
Pingus.
Even
he's gonna take his time coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. They don't want him to come back until he's healthy.
Exactly. He's no Embiid
They
type.
want to save his ass for the playoffs.
That is correct, and smart.
Yeah,
it's very smart.
He's a good player.
He is.
Granted, I guess it all started with all the picks that they sent that they got back from sending Garnett and Pierce to Brooklyn. But I mean, that's like a model between them and like OKC. Like that's a model of like just stay the course. That's a trusted process.
Yes, those GMs
journey.
You can make examples of them.
Yeah. OKC's gonna be fun to watch though. Oh my god.
Big time.
Great. Top 2 league pass team for me every year for the last couple of years. So anything else want to discuss?
Boston, Mavericks, Boston.
So I had my final prediction was Knicks and Mavericks actually.
Nick, how can you even what? How?
Well, that's before the year started. That's how Jason Tatum go straight.
What about what happened in the summer made you think that anyone was going to come out of the East except for the Celtics?
Take a stab.
You just wanted a hot take.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. There's nobody on this planet that's going to sit here and say.
There's no one.
It hurt me to say it though, as a Heat fan, but you know,
the Celtics they're good for the next 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if they repeat. Again, as the Celtics, I hate the team. I don't want them to repeat, but I won't be surprised if they repeat. That's a stacked team.
If what we're seeing Tatum right now,
I think Dallas is coming out of the West.
So get a rematch then.
Yeah,
the West is going to be competitive.
Dallas
The West is like 8-9 deep.
Yeah, the West is going to be competitive. I want Kyrie to get back to the finals. I want Clay to have that statement of like, yeah, you didn't want me, and now
but guess what? That center, Lee, whatever his name, Lee Ling or whatever.
Lively.
That boy's a badass, man.
Yeah. Yep. Both their centers I like.
Yeah.
And I want Luka to like have that. I want him to get it.
You can make a case for about 8 or 9 teams in the West to go to the finals, and it won't sound silly. So you go Lakers, you go Lakers. I'll say the Kings. Go ahead, Kings.
I don't think that. I don't know if I just think the Lakers might run out of gas, and I would put money
you're
on.
Right. You're probably right.
AD probably getting hurt,
but there's no runaways in the West though. No one's running away with it.
There's no runaways. It's going to be competitive.
The East is different. It's Boston, maybe New York. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the finals going to be the East, Boston, New York, and the West, OKC, and
Dallas.
Dallas. And I hate to say it because I believe Minnesota can probably on any given night or any given series beat any team. So the West is stacked.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Very much
no doubt.
Very much so. Anything else, guys? We'll need more meat in the boat for another next one.
I enjoyed this, guys. Believe it or not.
This is fun.
Huh? Was that?
I enjoyed it. Are you gonna edit anything or just a straight?
Nope.
Sure. Dad could be a correspondent for MSNBC, not MSNBC.
I don't even.
Yeah, for
CNN.
MSNBC.
Both CNN. Both
for CNN.
I watch CNN
and MSNBC.
Because I try to find a centrist. Although
you're not gonna find that. You need to go online and find that.
I know.
Watch Breaking Points. Watch Breaking Points with Crystal Sager. I watch that every day. You know.
Centrist?
Huh? Well, you have one. No, well, you have one Republican, one Democrat, and they, it's all like it is.
I just think is that this is a in American history, this is probably one of those times that can change the trajectory, hopefully for the good. But if you make the wrong decisions, it could go the other way too.
Donald Trump is the single biggest influential politician of my lifetime. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Good or bad. He is the most influential politician of my lifetime.
Repeat simple.
Single most.
What did you say?
Single most. Single most
influential politician of my lifetime. It's not even close. Think about all that's going on right now. We complain about the polarization and he's equally hated and loved. Find me another president that's had that kind of impact.
I'm trying to remember a quotation who said it is better to be feared than loved. Mm-hmm. And I think he go on that quite a bit. He creates fear, even in his inner circle. Not only the revenge tour that he wants to take if he wins.
Where's creating leverage though?
Huh?
It's creating leverage.
Well, again, he's above the law.
Tariffs.
Yeah.
I love tariffs.
Those
the best word, better than love.
The American power structure that we don't see, he delivered those 3 judges. And that's all they're concerned about. Now they can go on their 2025 agenda.
Right, Dad, on a side note.
And my concern is that could run for influence for the next 30 to 50 years.
All right, Dad, on a side note, how do you have bigger muscles than I do now?
What's that?
How do you have bigger muscles than I do now? bigger muscles.
Now he has bigger muscles
There's a thing called discipline.
Practically everyone in our family.
Right? There's a thing called discipline.
It's like
you got it, man. You know, next time
don't let the stomach fool you.
I know.
That man got some. He got some guns on him, man.
Yeah, even when I don't feel like working out, I work out. And if right by the side of my bed, let me show you guys.
Show the world.
There's a mat.
Oh,
to stretch. As soon as I get up in the morning, stretch.
Very good. Next episode we do this.
I come from the gym, stretch.
Next episode we do
before bed, stretch.
Next episode we do we'll discuss nutrition.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I'm cool with that.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
This is fun.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed this very much.
Very good. Very good.
Love you.
Thank you.